All right, we're live. So, uh, hopefully there's nothing new that we didn't catch, but we did our best to update the notes for this week's meeting. It's a general announcements. Free Calabax beta is out now, so go and check that out if you want to get a dev environment set up quickly for Drupal or Backdrop and I think other systems. You can donate to Backdrop CMS for a thank you Dragon t-shirt and or hoodie. You can check out our website for that, backdropcms.org. And we still have free PHP Storm licenses for any Backdrop contrib developers. If you are in the contrib group, just email info@backdropcms.org and we'll get back to you on details for what we can do to get you a license to that. And cool, we still have yeah, let's do that actually. It looks like Mike, you're here. If you have a second, I'd be interested to know if you had any updates on the issues you brought up in your article.
Cool. Sorta. Yeah, I've still been thinking about it, and wasn't expecting to be called on immediately, so I don't have my URLs ready just yet.
I can come back to if you want.
You can do that if you want, or you can. Why don't you do that?
Okay. We'll swing back. Cool. So updates from the PMC. I don't think there's anything. Greg, do you have anything? You could nod. No. Okay. Cool. Community growth. So, oh,
I'm not ready yet. Can you hear
okay.
me?
Yeah,
I'm
no
not ready
problem.
yet. I'll let you know.
Okay, no problem. I'll swing back on that too then. So now it's serendipity with infrastructure tasks.
All right. Testing
Yeah.
infrastructure is pretty firmly in place. It's very speedy. Thanks Gore for that. It seems to be running pretty well. Few issues that he's working out as they go, but overall fantastic. Random test failures are still coming up, and we're working on that in 1478 as we spot them and resolving those as we can as well. The API on the GitHub side changed, which is affecting our packaging script, which is affecting modules showing up on backdropcms.org if they didn't have an official release before that API change. They're not. New releases aren't showing up on backdropcms.org, which I think is also affecting Project Browser for people browsing to install modules through the Backdrop UI. And we have issues for that, and we're hunting down the fixes for those things. Gore has a proposed security enhancement to add an MD5 checksum for the packages so that people can't put in the middle attacks. And I think he's working on that, which is a great idea. That's issue 1992. Drush is not anything actually new since last week, but you can update your backdrop core and contrib with Drush up. That's a new, recent, relatively recent feature. So I give that a go if you're listening to this, and if you encounter anything, feedback is always welcome. Issues in the Drush issue queue, backdrop-contrib/drush. Drush site install has a PR, so if anybody is willing to test that, that would be great. And then once we have some confirmation on that, reviewed, tested by the community, we can merge that into making Drush master. All right, Wes, you take flagship. I think you're muted.
So I am. That's what I get for editing the doc while the meeting's going. Flagship website, so backdropcms.org, and the stuff that we're trying to improve on that. So coming soon, looks like SSO with GitHub, issue 178 in the backdrop cms.org queue. And Jen Lambton's currently testing, according to our doc. And then we're working on a showcase for sites built with Backdrop. It's issue 176, and a support section. So there's documentation, issue number 55, and it looks like Doc Wilmot, Biolithic, Graham, and Klonos are working on that, and forums. So we have a couple issues on that in the notes here, issue 18 and 250. So updates that are underway. So we have getting usage statistics visible. So that was in the original design for the modules page, and we want to get that information out there because it's helpful when you're trying to decide what you want to use. And define modules, themes, and layouts search. Want to get that working well. Issue number 95, and then we have blog news announcements, follow-up issues, issue 110, and event listing design review needed. Yeah, so we Darius, I think, turned in a design for that a couple weeks ago, and actually I haven't popped over there yet, so I will do that after the meeting. And then service provider listing follow-ups, issue 194. All right. So yeah, is this where I'm passing it back to you, Jeff?
Yeah, thanks. So Backdrop CMS project itself. So 1.44 is as needed, but Drupal 7.50 came out. So we've got the porting and/or determining if those issues are applicable to Backdrop going on in issue 2013 on GitHub, and we've made some pretty good progress. Gore and Gregory helping out there, great. Thanks a lot. And so we're going through and seeing which ones are applicable. So right, there's one for UTF-8 in that, which would add support for emojis and things in Backdrop, which we have an existing issue for that, but that will give us a roadmap to get that done. So that's interesting. So I hope to take a look at that. And regardless of who does it, it'd be great to get that into Backdrop. We have important bug fixes section here, and we got the Safari Flexbox issue going on, which seems to be a bit of a pain and difficult to tackle, but we're working on that. Do you want to say anything about that, Wes? Or?
Yeah, we got two fixes, two options in the bug ticket. As I mentioned last week, the one I think is going to make it in. I'm not particularly proud of it, but I don't know what else to do. So if anyone has a better idea, I'd love to hear it. We're forcing Safari to fail the Flexbox feature detection by sniffing the user agent string, because the newest version of Safari passes the test even though it has a really buggy implementation. So
yeah, I looked at that last week. Can you send a link to the other method? I saw the user agent sniffing method, which you said you're not proud of. Can you send a link?
Yep. The other one's Jen's. I will put a link to both actually in the notes here. That'd be helpful.
Maybe I can see if we can make that test more strict somehow or something.
I couldn't figure out a way, but yeah, that would be great. Jen's is just reducing the width of columns so it doesn't cause a wrap, even though it shouldn't.
Did you have one that you said you were trying to make it more strict, though? A more strict test?
Oh, I tried doing that first before I did the user agent sniffing, and there was enough. Like, I'm testing for, I think, all the properties that I can, and I'm testing to make sure that it responds with the correct response. Before I was just testing if it had that feature, and now I'm saying, okay, do you have this feature, and are you returning the correct response? Basically, I'm saying, do you have flex wrap? And then on top of that, I set this element to be flex wrap, and is that how you have it? And if you don't, I'm like, you fail. Like, get out of here. Which old Safari would fail the that second one. It would say it had flex wrap, but then not respond with the correct response. Anyway.
I see. I think I misunderstood. I thought maybe we could make it more strict, but it sounds like you took it as
Yeah,
far as it could go.
I think so. Yeah, unless someone else can figure something out.
I think that's fine. Probably go with the user agent sniffing for now and make it better later if we can. It'll
Yeah.
probably be better than what the current state is.
Right.
All right. 1373, when you make a custom block and add an image to it, it doesn't get its status set to 1, so garbage collection gets it a couple hours later. That's pretty frustrating. We need to find a path to a solution for that one. So far, the things we've tried have not. They've either been too broad or don't work at all. So we're working on that. CK editor unloads on AJAX requests on the form. So, for example, if you have CK editor on the body field of a post content type and you add an image, when the AJAX callback is made, the CK editor unloads and it's gone. So that one has a PR, which is great. And the only thing we need to confirm by Nate is that tests are not possible, because I don't think we have AJAX callback tests that are possible. So if that's true, that will probably just get in as it is. If Nate has something to say about that, we might write tests for that. But we should get that one in sooner than later, as that could be frustrating user experience. All right, that's the stuff that I know about. You want to take over, Wes?
Sorry. I'm trying to get the doc. Where are we at? Community outreach? Or items for 1.5.0? Is that it? Okay, cool. Sorry about that. We're working on releasing for September 25th. That's 1.5.0, and we're trying to focus on editorial experience and features that are around that, and then whatever else we need to get in. So reference module, issue 1301, Mike McCaffrey is working on that one. Looks like it's in contrib right now, and no new progress since Mike is lame. I'm hoping Mike wrote that, but whatever. And then go ahead and post to the contrib issue queue if you have any issues with that. And we're going to leave 1301 for issues getting that into core. And then, yeah, new front-end theme in core. So I have not been working on the color module stuff for a little while. I started focusing on responsive menus in core, but I'm blocked on that because I don't understand how to write backend code. So yeah, any help with that would be great. I can find the ticket number for that. And then, yeah, theme settings revamp. There were thoughts around that. I honestly don't know where that's at. I would be a beneficiary from that, but I don't think that's something I'm going to be able to help. And Nate is supposed to review Basis here pretty soon and let me know if there's anything that needs to change before it goes in core. But yeah, if you're using it on any project, it should be a good base theme that you can customize and make it look like whatever you want it to look like. So let me know if there are any issues if anyone's using that right now. And if there are any issues, again, it's in contrib, and just put issues in the contrib repo, and I will respond as soon as I see them. And then new default homepage layout. I might take a crack at that here pretty soon, since I'm kind of blocked on some other things. And improving the rich text editor meta. And let's see, that's 1087, and I don't really know. Update from question mark. I'm not sure what that's about. All right, and so yeah, if you want to see any more about what we might be trying to get into future releases, you can see the backdropcms.org/roadmap, and for the 1.5 release, there's an issue tracker for that, and there's a link in the notes. Um, we're always trying to improve our user experience. If you want to see what the issues for that are right now, there's a link in the notes, as well as for developer experience issues. If you have any new issues you want to add, just add bracket UX or bracket DX to the front of your issue in the title, and we'll try and track it down whenever someone's looking for issues like that. And Mike, come back to you now. So any progress, issue number, anything like that?
Right. So I don't have an issue number, but I'll talk about why not. So the approach that I'm going to take with this is, I think, try to make sort of a technical implementation around doing automatic updates that would be equally applicable to like any PHP CMS, and simultaneously try to court the sort of policy type support that would be necessary from Backdrop and from Drupal to actually have automatic updates, to actually have those patches generated. So I've, for the time being, split it out to just a conversation, or design document, I guess would be a better term, that I've put just on my own GitHub for now as sort of a neutral space to do that. And I had the URL. Here we go. Let me throw it in the chat. So I have a pretty extensive document discussing sort of how I envision at this point that you might actually go about technically pushing out these updates. So lots of detail in there about, you know, how to do it securely and how to ensure that the updates get pushed out and all that sort of thing. That if that's something you're interested in, please look it over. If you think of a better way to do it, like I've been thinking of better ways to do it every day for the last 7 days, so it's like evolving Darwin style. When a new idea, I slot it in there when I have a better way to do it. I think it's getting to be pretty good now. And I try to explain sort of like the benefits and the trade-offs that I'm making to arrive at the decisions that I came to. So anyway, so I'm sort of going to like use this document as a basis for something that I'm going to try to start writing if I have time to do it. And so like one of the other reasons I wrote it is because it's complicated enough that I'm not going to be able to remember what I wanted to do like long enough to get it done if I don't have it written down. But yeah, but still, please check it out and post comments on it. And so then that's the one side of it, is the technical side, and the other side of it is the what would this mean to Backdrop if automatic updates were a thing? Because I believe that you shouldn't do automatic updates unless you also support, as I discussed in my blog post article, unless you also support previous versions, not just the very last version. Otherwise, you will break people's sites. One of my colleagues here where I work said, yeah, my last place we used WordPress and it broke every once in a while because, you know, these auto updates that also had other stuff besides just the security fix would land, and surprise, or your site doesn't work. So right. I guess, does anyone here have any thoughts about the implications of doing like supported releases with a life cycle like that? Or
Can we swing back to that at the end? Does that
yes.
work? Okay.
First, one other
Sure.
question. I heard you saying somebody was talking about like adding MD5 hashes to packages or releases or something. That sounds related, and I wanted to just.
Yep, Gore, who's in the meeting.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and he's also very interested in talking with
Cool.
you about.
Yeah, the document that I have there has like hashing and signatures on steroids, as so definitely check it out.
That sounds fun. All right, cool. Thanks. Yeah, and we'll definitely swing back to that after. And yeah, community update or community outreach update. So that's our improved word for marketing. uh, I'm sorry, I did say the M word. Uh, so we have another outreach. We have an outreach meeting on the 16th. And the focus, it looks like, will be website content strategy, so blog posts and whatever else we can get on the website. So, oh, and there's notes for the last meeting. Cool. I don't know if that's on the Backdrop CMS calendar. I will try and track down uh, invite to that because I would like to go, and I'll try and get it in the meeting here, meeting notes. So news and announcements. So official blog schedule is at issue 158, or maybe we're talking about it on issue 158. So next up, working. I think it's going to be Nate and Jen talking about a Drupal Camp Twin Cities recap of the training and maybe discussions that happened there. Heard some positive things by from some of the people who went to the training, so that's great to hear. And then, oh, July 1st. I wonder if that got out. That's probably old. And so newsletter schedule at issue 177. Going to make a newsletter about updating to 1.4 or what's new in 1.4. And August 1st, hoping to have a newsletter about support section of the website. See all marketing tasks at the tag audience-marketing, and yeah, go to that meeting as well if you're interested in that stuff. So every Thursday is Backdrop Day, so we get together, talk through what's going on, and then try and do some work on the code base afterwards or discussion. So GitHub issue queue is the place of record. But we also talk a lot in Gitter just to hash out stuff quickly. So definitely recommend getting into there. There's a link in the notes here, and I will also post it into our Hangout chat. IRC still technically there. Seems like a ghost town at this point. I'm still posting the meeting notes there, and I never see any updates. So, but yeah, in theory, it's there, and you can ping me. I'm usually on there. And yeah, if you have any other discussions, we also have a Reddit, and we're working on a forum to have longer form discussions with a broader audience. Hopefully, knock on wood. Upcoming events, I will be going to Drupal Camp PA end of this month. It's backdrop friendly. I don't think there are any backdrop specific talks right now. Mine this year isn't about backdrop. So yeah, but if anyone's in town, let me know. It'd be cool to hang out. And are there any other events coming up that anyone knows of? There's an iCal feed that we try to keep up to date with backdrop-friendly events that you can go to and catch a session or hang out with some backdrop people. So books, beginning Backdrop CMS is out. We have links to that for Apress or Amazon. And there's also, I think, same author, migrating from Drupal to Backdrop on Apress or on Amazon. So check those out if you're interested in those topics. All right. That's what we had. So we wanted to swing back to Mike, your security update stuff.
Yeah, so I guess the question that I just posed that you said we might swing back to me on was if anyone had any thoughts about the disposition towards doing more work, basically supporting older releases than just the latest one. One other comment that I would say with that is that some of these security releases, they're very small and they do auto merge back through previous releases.
Yep.
So you wouldn't have to immediately develop automation to do that, but you totally could. develop tooling so that core developers and contrib developers as well could spin out a new release, but then also just like have it automatically try and see if the backports and like say, hey, by the way, you could also release all of these ones, and if you wrote a test covering your, verifying that the security is fixed, and you have good test coverage, you might not even have to do more than that. Like just let it automatically push it back to the old ones.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say I'm on the PMC, and it definitely matches up with our values of it's just kind of, we're working all towards the end user, and anything that makes so if you think of it as like a traffic sense, they have the right of way. They're the ones that we try to please the most, and then it kind of works back. Whereas if core people have to do more work to make sure that people higher in or closer to the end user, their lives are easier. I think that's something that we should definitely explore and work towards. If if it's just cherry picking important security patches, like it's
Right.
not rocket science.
Right. Cool. Yeah, I'm glad that.
I looked at how WordPress does it, and it's kind of neat. They have flags that they put in their settings file that so that you can opt into it. You can say, I want no automatic updates, or I want security only, so
Right.
that you won't get bopped with a feature thing that breaks parts of your website. So I thought
Right.
that was pretty neat. I don't know if you have that in your proposal. I haven't read your whole
Yeah,
read.
it's not maybe spelled out as clearly as it could be, but what I pictured doing for that would be there's this whole exchange of communication between some sort of central infrastructure that's distributing the update and each site that I outline. And so one of the things that happens in that communication is there would be like an index file that gets sent that says, hey, here's all of the updates that just happened, and here's some metadata about them too. Like this is the module that they are for if you want to do contrib updates. But it would also have the security score, like the threat score in there. And then as a site owner, you can say, you know what, I don't care about things that are security updates that only have like a score, or a risk score of 10. I'd rather manually apply those. But if it's super critical, yeah, put it in as soon as it's available, right? So you could even configure it like to how severe of an issue it was. And then I guess the other thing that you point out is like WordPress does do auto updates that aren't security updates. Not something I'm excited about pursuing, although like the technical infrastructure that I described obviously doesn't care whether it's a security update or a feature update, so it could be used for that.
Yeah, I agree. I'm less interested in that. Yeah, I just because we're so module like contrib oriented, I see headache. It just sounds like a world of hurt to me. But Nate and Jen know a lot more about this stuff than I do. I just write CSS and HTML. I don't. But I've felt the pain of I had a small client built a little Drupal site for him. Long time ago, did not realize I should be updating the code and got hacked. So I was like, oh yeah, the site's done. I'm done.
Yeah.
We're all good here. And that you can't do that with unless you have something like this in place. So and you probably shouldn't, even if you do.
That was how I originally got pulled into this world. It was many years ago, but a site for an organization that I belonged to had gotten hacked, and I had to figure out.
Yep.
That was my introduction. Here's a broken site.
Unwelcome surprise.
Yeah. So it happens to a lot of people, and we should be doing better, I think. So.
Yep, totally. And yeah, I think this would really put us in a better place to compete with Squarespace, because that's where I put that client off on. Is like, okay, I don't really want to deal with this. I'll just make sure your Squarespace site looks nice and
pay your bill, and they'll solve the problem too. But.
So, yeah, I'm really excited about this for sure, and I'd love to help with any sort of if you need any help with any interface or anything in your design document or down the road, let me know.
Cool, good to know.
Anything else we got?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, with regards to that, I was thinking, see how we got the project browser now in core, and it makes it easier for people to install things, but the available updates page is still like we could somehow incorporate. It's not going to be automatic updates per se, but instead of having people manually do that, see how we have. Just hold on a second to everything. The list of core and at least contrib modules that say they're up to date or links for you to download it. We could, I think, somehow add another link there that adds any updates to the queue, and it sort of like automates that part as well. And I'm surprised we didn't think of that already. I'm going to file an issue for that. But yeah, somehow related to the updates.
Yeah, that'd be a pretty interesting integration point. I actually haven't looked at that yet, and I think there's a need for some design help. I might look into that. Oh, and looks like the community growth is up to date. Do you want me to go over that, or do you want to take it?
Yeah, I'll do it. So yes, right. So not much has changed, and it's actually for 2 weeks because the numbers weren't updated for the last meeting either. And it's been kind of slow. I guess everybody's on vacation mode. So we have 289 total projects on backdropcms.org, and it's only 4 since the last 2 weeks. Then we have 201 projects with official releases on backdropcms.org, only 3. Yeah, only 3 new since last couple of weeks. And then 298 releases on backdropcms.org, which is only 5 new since last 2 weeks. Then we have no updates on backdrop contrib authors for the couple of last weeks, only 54 with 13 pending applications. I might have to go through these and try to see if people are blocked and see if I can help them move on. Then no change for the organization profiles on backdropcms.org, 24, and we have 3 new users since last 2 weeks. That brings us up to 289. That's it.
Oh, great. I just realized that my theme that I want to get in core is not showing up in backdropcms.org. That's why they pay me the big bucks. So we'll at least have one more by next meeting, because I'll try and figure that out. Great. Thanks, Greg. Yeah, Greg. All right, cool. Well, I think that's it. Unless anyone else, I'll pause overtime. All right, sounds like a no. Well, thank you everyone for attending, and those of you who are watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon, hopefully. Later.